Okay, good morning, everybody, and thank you. And I'm Holger for the invitation to this EURAXESS China session. So my name is Antonio Molina. I'm a professor at the Technical University of Madrid. That is one of the most important technical universities of Spain and also of Europe. So, and in addition to this, I have several additional roles here. So I'm the director of the Center for Plant Biotechnology and Genomics, the Centro de Biotecnología Genómica de Plantas. And I'm also now the executive director of the Center of Excellence that Xavier mentioned, that are in one alliance that we call the SOMA, S-O-M-M-A. And I'm the executive director. So as it was indicated, I will introduce to you the great opportunities that there are for a very motivated PhD or even postdoctoral researcher to join this excellent center in Spain. So the first I will do is just to introduce to you my center, just an example of the opportunities. It was very nice to see that just by chance, Xavier has in the jobs of SOMA one slide showing the 11 PhD position that we offer as a CBGP the last year. This was amazing because the chance that this will happen will be very low, but actually this he has this slide just with our offer in the SOMA webpage. Okay, so our center, the CBGP, is a joint center between two institutions, the Technical University of Madrid, the Universidad Politécnica de Madrid, and the National Institute of Agricultural Research, the INIA, in Spain. And this was just approved as a joint center in 2006, and we start to work in the fantastic facility that we have in 2008. And I just explain this just to give you some example of the type of opportunities that a center as our center that you can see here. We have this seal of Center of Excellence, Severo Ochoa. The opportunities that our center and similar center of SOMA, of this Severo Ochoa Excellent Alliance, can offer for a researcher from China. So our center is divided in 4 research areas: plant development, interaction of plant with environment, computational system biology and a genomics program that was supported by this grant of Severo Ochoa Excellence, and a new program that we are launching now on synthetic biology and bioengineering on plant and associated microorganisms. So you can just follow us in our webpage, in Twitter, and I recommend you to see some of our more recent videos regarding the research program that we are now launching. Like, for example, one very big program financially supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation of more than $6.2 million that we just present to society the past week in a press conference. So as a classical center of research, we do science. So we publish articles in very good journals. So for example, in our case, and you will see that for the majority of the center from the Severo Ochoa and Maria Maeztu Alliance, we publish very good science in very good journal. In our case, in addition, we have some particular feature because we get about 30% of our funding from private or enterprise or foundation, like as I said, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So one particular feature of our center, and I guess this is a very interesting opportunity also for a researcher, is that we have a very active program on innovation and tech transfer. That this includes courses for PhD and postdoctoral students. And as a consequence of this, we are very active in the foundation of spin-off companies and also in the generation of products that are actually in the market. I don't have time to go through this. So what I want to show you is just an example of the opportunities that a center like our center or other center like the Severo Ochoa Center have for young scientists. So this is just to show you what happened in our center in the last 2 years with this new program on computational system biology and genomics. So when we got the money from the Severo Ochoa grants, we got 4 millions, and we just use 3 of these 4 millions to hire people. And as you can see here, we hired 25 postdoctoral researchers in 2 years, just using this competitive program. That is in addition to the program that has been introduced previously. So this is just to show that what was the situation of our center regarding the computational biology. We had just one group, and the groups of the CBGP were doing some genomic analysis, but we just decided to launch this program. As a consequence of this, we have incorporated a lot of junior group leader and senior group leader. You can see here. And this group leader has been financially supported by different programs, but particularly also by the Severo Ochoa program. And this is just to give you an example of the transformation that we experienced in this center. Also, as you can see, there were several spin-off companies that were created, several, also, as you can see here, a program of formation or a computational biology master. And this is an example of opportunity, because in each of these groups that you see here, a postdoctoral researcher and PhD student, including 4 Chinese PhD students, were hired. And I guess this is as an example of the opportunity, because in this box here, where we are describing a principal investigator, the names are Spanish, but also we have a Polish researcher, but also we will be very willing to have a Chinese junior group leader and Chinese postdoctoral, because there are a lot of resources that we are dedicating to this program that is working very well. So yes, I will not go into much detail. So importantly, all these postdoctoral researchers and also the junior group leader position has been announced in the EURAXESS portal, also in other portal like the EPSO, that is the European Plant Science Organization, and we are following all these HR excellent research rules to announce and to give all the candidates the same opportunities. Just to give you some numbers, for this 25 postdoctoral researcher position, we got around 1,000 applications. It was impressive, the impact of the publication of this in EURAXESS, and I guess this is a good example. And we hire, as I said, this postdoctoral researcher and also 4 Chinese PhD students. So I will move now to some example of the initiative of cooperation between a Spanish research center and universities and a Chinese institution, research center, research institute and university. And as I mentioned, in a professor of the Technical University of Madrid, Politecnica, and our university has been very active in establishing a different type of collaboration with a Chinese research institution for the last 10 years. And I will give you some example of the type of initiative that our university is working in. And I guess this is also a very good example of the type of collaboration that we are establishing, and also the opportunities for Chinese researchers that will be interested to come to Spain, and to show you that there are also opportunities to come back to China through all this type of initiative. The most important thing is that for more than 10 years, the university has a permanent office and an administrative structure in China. And actually this is located in the Sino-Spanish campus in Tongji University in Shanghai. And this is a campus with the participation of the Technical University of Madrid, the UPM, and the Technical University of Catalonia, the UPC. Other Spanish universities will join this Sino-Spanish campus soon. And in this permanent office, we have a director, Claudio Fijo, that is in charge to manage it, all the administrative step to establish the different, or to initiate the initiative that I will mention now. So, for example, we have initiative in teaching training initiative. For example, we are now creating the Sino-European College of Sport between the UPN and the Beijing Sport University, that is the most important university in sport in China, the VCU. So we have joint master and PhD program, and we have a lot of student exchange, our university and also particularly the UPC. Regarding the research activity, it's very important to mention that we have research and development or innovation collaboration. One example is this recent creation of the Center for Excellence for Plant Environment Interactions, CPE, that is a joint initiative between our research center and two research institutions from the Chinese Academy of Science in China, that is the Institute of Genetic and Developmental Biology of Beijing and the Shanghai Plant Stress Center. And as I said, we established this new initiative, this Center of Excellence, and I will comment on this later on in my presentation. But our university has other joint center that are now in different step of to get the full establishment. And it's very important to mention that I guess the reason this Center of Excellence will be very successful Center of Excellence is because this is a bottom-up initiative that was started by researchers from Spain, from my university, and from China with common interest in research and development, and that in the past, now we have established collaboration. And I guess this is very important just to have the trust between the researchers in China and in Spain in order to establish this very interesting alliance like this Center of Excellence for Plant Environment Interaction. There are also a very interesting initiative on innovation led by my university that like this, the entrepreneurship in China. My university is providing courses in collaboration with Tongji University and also with some business investor like China Accelerator, and we are participating in the Nanjing Innovation Center supported by the Nanjing Technological Developmental Alliance and the UPN. These are just examples, but there are a lot of more examples that we are working in as a university. So in addition to this, there are several initiatives from the Sino-Spanish initiative. As it was mentioned before, one of the initiatives is this program between the Torch, that is and the Spanish FEDETI, that is the funding body for innovation for enterprise, the Spanish funding body, and they have this innovation program that is called Chineca, that actually is now there is now an open call that is closing in 1 month. And through this program, the idea is just to establish collaboration between Spanish companies and Chinese companies. But very importantly, in this program, the participation of research groups from the academia and from the public research institution is really welcome. And I guess this is also a very interesting opportunity. So as I said, this is actually this call is already opened and will be closed in a few weeks. So the reason we have this type, for example, of innovation program is because our Ministry of Science and Technology, Science and Innovation signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Science and Technology of China in 2011, but this agreement was resigned or redefined in 2018. And based on this memorandum of understanding, what both governments are trying to do is to strengthen and to develop a new initiative to have a joint research program. In addition to this, there are a memorandum of understanding between different research and technological institutions from China and Spain. There are some examples here, and also between Spanish university, as I mentioned before. And there are several examples of additional joint institute, like this institute that you see here, between the Academy of Mathematics and System Science and the Beijing International Center of Mathematical Research. But there are, as I said, several examples of a joint institute. So what I will do in the next slide is to introduce to you some of this initiative, and particularly this Center of Excellence for Plant Environment Interaction that we founded recently. So you will see here our meeting in Beijing in the left and Shanghai in the right of this picture. When we just signed it in October 2019, the memorandum of understanding for the creation of this Center of Excellence on Plant Environment Interaction. So the objective of this center is just to develop joint research program with the support of the funding from the CBGP through Severo Ochoa and the funding from the Chinese Center through different programs that they will mention later on. So this is just to tell you that you can visit the CPE Center of Excellence in this webpage. So you can find this in our CBGP webpage. And just to show you that this is a global initiative, is that we were discussing about this center during the last visit of the CAS director, the Chinese Academy of Science director, to our research center in 1 year ago. And you can see here the one of the picture of this meeting with the director of the CAS and also the delegate for cooperation of CAS with Europe, that is also in this picture here. Okay, so what we have done through this collaboration with, as I mentioned, the Institute for Genetic and Developmental Biology of Beijing and the Shanghai Plant Stress Center is just to launch the first joint collaborative programs. So we call this the Transversal Scientific Program. And through this Transversal Scientific Program, what we have done is just to financially support several joint programs in different areas, like plant response to biotic stress, plant adaptation to environmental change, and empowering plant nutrition, because we are a plant science center. And you can see here the program that were financially supported. And you can see that there are members from the CBGP and also for the AGTB and the PSC in this 5 program that were financially supported. Actually, the 2 first researchers associated to this CPE program are joining today the center. One is one PhD student to my group, and actually he's just arrived to the center today, just by chance. And the idea is that in addition to this PhD student that will be incorporated into this program, that the majority of the activity of this PhD student will be done at the CBGP, but they will perform several stages, hopefully, in Beijing and Shanghai during the 4th year of their PhDs. In addition, as I said, the idea is that we will try to motivate some Spanish researcher or European researcher to apply to the PIFI program from the Chinese Academy of Science, and also to some Chinese master student to apply to the CSC program, in order to incorporate them to this CPE initiative. And the idea is that from this program we can either have a Spanish or European postdoc that will move from Europe to these 2 centers in China, financially supported by CAS, and vice versa. We will identify some potential PhD student that will apply to CSC. And this is as I mentioned before to Anna, our idea is just to publish all this offer in EURAXESS China in the next few weeks. Okay. So this program of cooperation with China is very important for the CBGP and for our university, as I mentioned before. And our idea is just to try to improve our international leadership in some field. And for this, we have a lot of workshops and seminars. And I would like to remark that, unfortunately, we had the first Chinese-Spanish workshop of the Center of Excellence for Plant Environment Interaction were ready for to be in Madrid on March the 2nd. But as you can imagine, we have to stop everything just 4 or 5 days before the Chinese researchers were planning to fly to Madrid due to the COVID pandemic. But it was really impressive that we managed to have in this fantastic program, as you can see here, more than 12 principal investigators from these 2 centers that were interested to come to Madrid to give the presentation and to establish a collaboration with the CBGP researcher. And the expectation of this workshop was impressive, because we have more than 300 applications to participate in this initiative, because it was the first time, as I mentioned, that in one workshop we have so many excellent researchers from China. But as I said, this was cancelled, unfortunately, and hopefully we will have the opportunity to organize just online soon. So the last part of my talk is related with Xavier presentation, and as I mentioned before, all these Center of Excellence and Research Unit of Excellence are associated to this in this alliance that we call the SOM Excellent Alliance. And I would like to remark the great opportunity that for researchers from different countries and also for China have this to look for opportunities in this research center. SOMA Alliance is integrated by 53 institutions, 23 María de Maeztu Research Units, and 30 Severo Ochoa Research Center that are highly competitive center in the frontiers of research, and that the publication of this center have a very high impact and leadership, and they are very active social and economic actors, and we are covering all the fields of research. The selection of this center is done by the Spanish Research Agency in a very, very, very competitive call. So I will say that with a few exceptions, the best research center institution of research unit, that means department mainly, research department from university, are just in this alliance. So I will suggest you to look at this alliance, because this alliance is covering all the research disciplines, from life science, math, experimental science and engineering, social science and humanity. And one of the key points of this initiative is just to work actively in open science. Okay, so you have here some data of this group of Center of Excellence and Unit of Excellence. So there are about 9,600 researchers in this 53 members of the alliance, more than 1,500 postdoc, and as you can see here, 2,200 principal investigators. Interestingly, the scientific output of this center, as I said, is excellent, with more than 7,700 publications per year, 78% in Q1 journal and 41% in the one journal, Science, Cell, Nature, and so on. And they have a very active role in PhD student formation, with more than, as you can see here, 513 doctoral theses defended in 2018. So one of the important feature of this center is that they are very good group leader, and as a consequence of this, this center are very active in getting funding from the European Research Council, and you can see here that there are 159 ERC grantees to this center, and more importantly, 45 of them are ERC advanced, but the rest are starting grant or consolidator grant for junior or young senior, I will say, researchers. So there are a lot of opportunity to initiate a research activity in this center through the application to ERC. So this center have a lot of collaboration with companies. So actually there are a lot of patent application and spin-off foundation. And they are also, this center, very active. We are very active in collaboration with European project with more than 410 participation that were initiated or were running in 2018. So these data are of 2018. So we are also very active in talent attraction, as it was indicated in our jobs portal You can see all the offer. This is updated every day, and so all the offer that you see in the job portal of Soma is updated, and if it is there, means that this is still the chance to apply for. And in the last year, we have data in 2018 we were 42 members. We offer in this web page 1,500 new hires. So, and this is very, very important, because 46% of this offer were international postdoc. So this is a really impressive number. And you can see here the 53 members of the alliance, but you can see this number, and you can get more information about this center in the web page of Soma. So, what is the value that this Severo Ochoa Marion Madicto Program of Excellence has? Well, the money that we are getting for this the Spanish Research Agency is used for facility upgrades, and this is very important, because if you just reach one of these center of excellence, I can guarantee you that you will have the best equipment, the most modern technology and knowledge to be very competitive in your field. Also, as I said, and as I just explained to you with our own example of the CBGP and the Computational System Biology and Genomics program that we launched with the Severo Ochoa funds, is the recruitment. So we have the chance to recruit PhD, postdoctoral, young and senior group leader, and so on. And also just to support with this funding to improve the tech transfer office, the management office, the international office, and the money that we get from this program is devoted to perform, as I said, training, research, and tech transfer. So just to finish, I will show you some of the example of the International Strategic Alliance and Exchange Network that some of our center in this Soma Alliance have, and particularly with some International Strategic Exchange Alliance with international institutions, including some of China. So they are alliance with the John Innes and Max Planck in Germany in plant science, and other center like Fermilab and Keck in particle physics. But as you can see here, the Center for Genomic Regulation, CRG, that is a very, very good center, has some agreement with the Guangzhou Institute for Biomedicine and Health, and they have launched an international program of master and doctorate. And this involves the collaboration in research program. So there is also an international center for numerical methods in engineering in a joint initiative between the CIMNE and some institution of Beijing. Also, the Astrophysics Canary Institute has some agreement with NAUC, the National Astronomical Observation from CAS. And as I mentioned before, we have this Center of Excellence for Plant Environment Interaction, the CPE, with the Institute of Genetics and Developmental Biology of Beijing and the Shanghai Plant Stress Center from Shanghai. And as I said, we have a lot of exchange between basic research and clinicals. And that's it from my side. Just to tell you that we have a governance structure of Soma, and you can see here the structure. And I invite you to visit our webpage, this is soma.es, and to get additional information. Okay.
Thank you very much, Antonio.